Countless suns in other galaxies spray cosmic rays in all directions continuously. Closer to home, our sun radiates gamma rays, X-rays, and shorter wavelengths of ultraviolet light. When they hit the outer layers of the Earth's atmosphere, these cosmic rays are absorbed by atoms, but in the process, electrons are knocked off. Thus, there is a constant flux of electrons at this altitude. The atoms are changed to positively charged ions. This process gave the ionosphere its name. Blown towards Earth on the solar wind, electrically charged particles follow Earth's magnetic field lines. Along such paths of least resistance, high-energy particles funnel towards the magnetic poles of the Earth, squeeze into a poleward current called the electrojet, and are dumped towards the Earth. Sometimes the electrojet dwindles, but other times a solar flare floods the system with high-energy particles, and the sky lights up into the dancing, shifting curtains of the auroral display. On Friday the 13th, May 2005, we had the largest solar flare on record. When these flares actually strike the Earth, superstorms are formed. HAARP is the largest ionospheric heater in the world. The ground-based equipment will beam focused energy up to the ionosphere, where the beamed radio frequency waves would interact powerfully with charged particles that are always trapped there. Essentially, HAARP is a ground-based solar flare. In December 1915, the New York Times reported that the inventor, Nikola Tesla, had filed patent applications on the essential parts of a machine, possibilities of which test a layman's imagination and promise a parallel of Thor shooting thunderbolts from the sky to punish those who had angered the gods. Suffice it to say that the invention will go through space with the speed of 300 miles per second, a manless ship without propelling engine or wings, sent by electricity to any desired point on the globe on its errand of destruction, if destruction its manipulator wishes to effect. It is not a time, said Dr. Tesla, to go into the details of this thing. It is founded upon a principle that means great things in peace. It can be used for great things in war. But I repeat, this is no time to talk of such things. Nikola Tesla told the writer that he stands ready to divulge to the United States government the secret of his teleforce, with which he said airplane motors would be melted at a distance of 250 miles away. And who remembers when the Soviets launched a giant mirror into space? It was to have the luminescence of 10 moons and was said to be used to heat the polar regions for agriculture. The mirror seemed to fail, however, and they say it burnt up in the atmosphere. HAARP has the ability to generate such a mirror effect by causing a plasma cloud in the ionosphere that can direct solar radiation to desired targets. I received a report that HAARP was tested as a meteor deflection shield. It seems a meteor was directed straight towards the facility. Could we have the ability to hurl meteors at our own planet with such precision? I looked deeper and found that the Anchorage Daily News reported such an event. A meteor struck the ionosphere, the clouds dispersed at 1,000 miles per hour, and then a sonic boom. Many of the people in Anchorage thought it was the end of the world and sought refuge in their basements. And 3 hours later, an earthquake struck. The USA Today reported that Milosevic accused the U.S. of using HAARP in the Gulf War to cause his floods and earthquakes. HAARP's extremely low frequency waves penetrate everything and so are useful for submarine communications. Some believe, however, that this is causing the whales to beach themselves. HAARP's transmitter can penetrate land as well. Known as tomography, HAARP can peer into the Earth to find subterranean complexes, such as the one found under the Giza Plateau. Fox reported that deep down under the Great Pyramid, a subterranean complex was found. It was excavated by Zahi Hawass, the secretary of the Giza Plateau. What he found is also unbelievable.
This is the tomb of Osiris,
the god of the underworld.
They later changed the name to the Osiris Shaft. Our leaders are phallus worshippers, after all.
but to be fair, I did not excavate this tunnel yet. Then really I don't know where it leads us. But I always say that you never know what the sand and the tunnels of Egypt may hide of secrets.
Many believe that the Greys are actually subterranean beings, having existed on this planet for tens of thousands of years. History reports them as a worker race brought by the gods to do mining work. They were known as the Anunnaki. Reports have come from Dulce, New Mexico, of a war between these subterranean beings and our military. Eric von Daniken also reported discovering tunnels that covered thousands of miles under Central America. They have smooth walls and seem to be constructed with high technology, perhaps a laser drill. These are the very tunnels that the Incans hid their gold after discovering Cortez was not their god. Now consider this. When the Spaniards arrived on the beach, the Incans considered them to be their gods because they expected their gods to be men with facial hair and high technology. The Incans knew their job on this planet was to mine gold for the gods. This made the Spaniards very rich. Some ideas about HAARP are not generated from this planet at all. Channeled information from the Pleiades, and direct contact from the Pleiadians themselves tell us that we live in a very special time. They came to tell us that we are at the beginning of a new great year. This is based on the 26,000-year cycle of the precession of the equinox, what we call the astrological cycle. We are now entering what could be termed the Great Day. For 13,000 years, we have been asleep in the great night. Now as our solar system turns to face the photon belt radiating from the galactic core, we are coming awake in the age of man, the age of Aquarius, and we will ascend to new dimensions. Now, the Syrians, whom our leaders seem to follow, tell us a different version of this episode. They say there is no way we will survive this radiation. They tell us that we should build frequency modulators around the globe, a force field, to transport our planet to their solar system. HAARP and its counterparts are just such a system. Can you imagine waking up to two suns? Isaac Bonowitz put occultism under the interdisciplinary microscope in his book Real Magic, dissecting and examining magic in a scientific but flexible way, and reporting it in